Let's talk to this man. Here's Harold the H. Peacock-a-doodle-doo. He is Harold Peacock, a historian. At 8:14, well over local, 25 degrees in Ipswich. Big shout-out to Tim Ryan, bravery medalist, champion bloke, character.
Right.
Good talking to you. And, of course, Stu Marshall's listening with Christine Marshall there listening. Brett de Britz is listening. Philip Brown's listening. They're all flaming listening. But let's talk about the Ipswich Golden Casket conspiracy of 1932. Let's cross down live to a place near you. How are you there, Carol the H?
Harold the H, I'm going really well, and this is a really good one. This is a good story you'll love hearing this. Because, look, it started with the Chief Justice. He studied it. He read its number. Council haggled over it, held meetings, weighed it in their hand. It was passed over to the jury, who in turn weighed it, discussed it, and even rolled it. Then the judge's associate took control. You place it in a clean white envelope. This was the most important exhibit in a ground-breaking case. Happened 93 years ago. The item was a small wooden marble from the great Ipswich Golden Casket conspiracy of 1932, like you said. And Danny, it left a huge legacy. Now, look, the conspiracy happened under the watch of the great Bill Noble. You'd remember him. Noble was, of course, the Australian Rugby League representative who played in the New South Wales Rugby League's first ever premiership season with Newtown in 1908. Did you know?
Newtown's Jets.
Yeah, he made his full debut for Australia in 1910 when he played in the first ever Test against Great Britain on Australian soil. He played in the 1911-1912 Kangaroo Tour of Great Britain and captained Balmain in his last season.
The Tigers.
Yeah, now look, and so this all happened under his watch because he was running the great Golden Casket organisation. But now, at the height of the Great Depression, Noble, he was in charge of Queensland's Golden Casket when one of the most unusual conspiracies unfolded, and it was centred right here in Ipswich. Now, in an attempt to defraud the Golden Casket Art Union of £6,000, which is an awesome $2.5 million in today's money.
Wow.
It was headlines everywhere. Now, first there was Donald Mackay. Now, he was the Golden Casket accountant, and he played the inside role of the swindle. Then there was Bill Evans, who was unemployed and living with his family and wife up at Windsor on the north side of Brisbane. It was his role to buy the ticket and provide a boy to perform the most important part. Now, Mackay gave Evans £1 for him to come to Ipswich and buy ticket number 65,764. Had to be that one. And he bought it from Nolan's Casket Agency that's up on the corner of Nicholas and Brisbane Streets. It was just up from the West Bremer Radio Studios. Now, Mackay then gave Evans the marble number 65,764 for Evans to give to his son. This was the 14-year-old Noel Evans who would draw the first prize. That's because that's how it was done back then. Children picked the winning marbles from a barrel. And so the next morning, young Noel reported to the Bohemia Theatre in South Brisbane where the drawing was taking place. He told officials his name was Fred Thomas, which was the name listed to draw the first prize. And, of course, the name and the position had been arranged by the accountant, Mackay. Now, but then a government official, you know, one of those guys sitting at the table watching it all happen, he noticed something in Noel's hand. He pulled him aside, opened his fist, and found the marble 65,754. Noel, however, was allowed to proceed with the drawing so as not to alarm the public. Because this is the Depression. Everyone was watching this. It's all about winning the money and saving your family, you see. But police were immediately called and detectives were waiting as the boy left the theatre. Now, Noel initially, at first, he told the detectives that a big Russian had given him the marble. So the Russian intrigue was being introduced there, but after his father, Evan Sr., confessed that he had given the marble to his son, young Noel also admitted to what he had done. Now, Mackay and Evans were both found guilty but the jury asked for leniency and the judge obliged. The men were each sentenced to a 2-year suspended sentence with a £300 good behaviour bond. The son, Noel, he was acquitted. Now, Evans, the father who wrote his 14-year-old son into the conspiracy, he only lived another 14 years, and today is buried in Toowong Cemetery. Noel, the boy, he achieved redemption for his role in the conspiracy when 7 years later he enlisted in the Royal Australian Navy, served for the duration of the Second World War, and was awarded a Good Conduct Badge. And the legacy of the Ipswich conspiracy, it's those machines that you see dropping the numbers today.
Right.
They were immediately implemented because of the Ipswich conspiracy, and children were never used again.
Oh, well, of course.
Yeah, and so that's what you see. That it's only because of Ipswich that we've got those wonderful ball-dropping machines on TV with the Lotto and so on now. It's that 1932 Golden Casket conspiracy that brought them on.
Surf life saving, we're using the balls, the numbered balls, into the 90s, I reckon, to draw the house, the surf life saving house. Now I actually witness it with an accountant, and it's done all computerised. But that's a very interesting story. No one died in that one. You normally have someone getting bumped off here, bumped off there. But great.
Yeah, well, there was Russian intrigue, and that's always likely to happen when they're involved. I think.
Yeah. Well, listen, where can we find this story and others? Because you've done a lot of the history of Ipswich.
Yeah, that's right. Like, there's actually 234 short stories that we've done, Danny. They're all available online at historyouthere.com. And that's 234 just in Ipswich. And so there's a heap more, but you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and YouTube, and it all points to historyouthere.com, including the stuff you post. You've got a photo of the old team on there this morning.
The team on the Facebook this morning. And, of course, there's one of the great program directors of radio, passionate man out there, Graham Kemp. He's tuned in and giving me a few tips, through Facebook, and I got people sending me messages, and then you got Zach in there. Zach and his stupid daylight saving, which we will not give in. It's 8:22. We're live. We're local. Thanks a lot, Harold. Harold the H. Peacock-a-doodle-doo. Harold Peacock, our historian on West Bremer Radio. 25 degrees outside.